right, in those two divisions, 35, 40, the most talent in boxing. Who do you think, out of all those guys, Haney, Shakur, Tank, Loma, Tio, who do you think's the best fighter out of all of them?
in terms of what they've accomplished or just skill set.
No, like if they all fought each other in a tournament, who would come out on top?
Shakur Stevenson.
I'm hearing that a lot. What? Why?
Shakur Stevenson, right? People say he doesn't have the power, right? I get that, but I think with Shakur, it's a little bit more to it with him. When he doesn't have a power, he makes up for his skill. You know, a lot more than Devin Haney, I would say. Because Shakur Stevenson, right? Let's say him and Tank, who I think are the most skilled guys in the division. Let's say they fight, right?
Uh huh.
Shakur, right? He may not have the power, people say, to keep Tank off of him, right? So he may find himself in a situation where Tank is getting him on the ropes a lot, right? May. But I think Shakur, right? He's skilled enough. He creates angles. He has footwork where he gets out of those situations. You know what I'm saying? He makes opportunities where he can get you back to the center of the ring, right? It's more than just power. Yeah, he may find himself in a situation where Tank can trap him or whatever the case may be, but Shakur makes adjustments in the ring. You know what I'm saying? I see a guy like Devin Haney, very talented. I don't think he's special like Shakur Stevenson. I put a difference between the two. I think Devin Haney's very talented, but from what I'm seeing from him in the ring, yeah, he has IQ, not quite the IQ of Shakur Stevenson, but he's relying a lot more on his athleticism, a lot more. Shakur
Right.
Stevenson is just his mind is different. It's very different. You see him making adjustments in the ring. Devin Haney, we see him fight Cambosos, right? The performance was dominant, quite lackluster in terms of what we expect him to do to Cambosos. But in the second fight, where you realize, oh, this dude is, I could do this, I could do that. A guy like Shakur would figure it out in the first fight,
Mm.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think Shakur has all the tools to be one of the greatest fighters we've seen in a long time, but I still need him to, show me the money because he hasn't really fought.
But
But I think Tank's the best out of all of them. With Shakur, very possibly and probably could be Tank. But if I had to bet right now, if I had to bet, I would lean towards Tank because of Tank's experience and that equalizer. I think Tio is also who, I've interviewed all these guys, or most of them. Tio is he's like the dark horse because he could beat any of these guys on a given night. I think he has that in him. But then on a given night, also he's shown that he's had some off nights.
that's a fact.
Right?
My thing, and I definitely agree with that. I agree with that 100%. He's one of those guys that's, his talent is remarkable. It's just, the mental lapses. But with Tank, my thing is with Tank, I definitely agree it could be Shakur Stevenson. I think that's the next biggest fight in boxing right there. That's our next mega fight right there. Shakur said no lies when he brought that up. I think either one of those guys could beat each other. But if gun to my head, if you ask me, I probably would go Tank because I've seen Shakur Stevenson front running fights. I've seen him front running fights. I've seen that. You can't do that with Tank Davis.
What do you mean front run?
Front run meaning expend all your energy at the beginning of the fight and then take rounds off in the latter half of the fight. We already got the fight on. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him do that. So you can't do that with Tank. It's gonna be a mental challenge in there. He's gonna be worrying about, man, this man gonna hit me one. I don't care what nobody say. If you're going up against a punch, you always have that in your head, like, damn, what if this guy could really hit me with one shot? He's gonna be in there weary about that. So that's gonna be mentally draining. Then Tank is gonna be coming forward on him because when Tank feels that you don't, and I'm not saying Tank is gonna walk through his shots or nothing, but Tank feels he got no power. Okay, we'll see. So I'm going off of if that is the case, if Tank fights him. Tank is going to be walking forward all night. So that's going to be mentally draining as well. Mentally draining.
True.
So, if gun to my head, if you ask me, I would go Tank. But, my thing with Tank is I just think his level of opposition as of late, no disrespect, he's accomplished a lot more than me in boxing. You know what I'm saying? I got to put that out there. But, I'm a boxing fan too at the end of the day. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. So, he wants to be on pound for pound list or whatever. I don't have Tank in my top 10. That's just me. Skill wise, if we talking about skills, he's in my top 3, top 5. But in terms of what you have accomplished, moving up divisions, winning actual belts, not regular belts, he's not on my top 10. There's a lot of guys. It's a lot of guys that I have on my pound for pound list. They've done multiple things that Tank has not done.
And that's the problem with pound for pound list is everybody has, not everybody, but a lot of people have different criteria. Right. So mine, I would put Tank there because of the skill, because of what you said, but you said that you don't use that. You use something else for your criteria. So it's all different. But I think the most exciting fight, no, the most interesting fight in boxing at that weight, especially for boxing purists, would be Tank versus Shakur. But I think the most exciting fight visually would be
Tank and
Tito
Tio.
versus Tank. Yep.
Yeah,
Those guys
I
are
knew you were gonna say that.
bomb
Yeah,
each other out.
that would be aesthetically pleasing, but I just feel like I don't know. And like I said, having people feel I'm gonna say what I say at the end of the day. I'm a man at the end of the day, you know, because boxing is a small circle. You like guys like you and me are liable to run into one of these guys. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say what I said at the end of the day. I'm gonna stand in at the end of the day. Tank, I don't believe he wants to fight a puncher. I don't believe that. I really don't think that's in his plans to fight a puncher. I haven't really seen it. The biggest punch he may have fought was Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios, the only person that really
Wait,
hurt him.
who is out there that's a big puncher that he's not fighting? Who are you talking about?
At 35, not per se, but when he was at 140 and he did fight a guy who had a little crack, we seen Barrios buzz him a little bit. You know, then he went back to
What's his
35.
face? Hits real hard, right?
Who?
Pitbull.
Nah, I don't believe that.
No.
At the highest level, absolutely not. I don't believe
Okay.
that. Maybe
I didn't even see that fight, but I thought Pitbull was known for being a hard puncher. No.
I think you have to be wary of his shots, of course, but I don't think he's like this hard hitting guy that people say he is because
Rolly could punch. Say what you want about
Rolly can punch. Rolly, yeah, that is a Rolly can punch. That's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. But Tank was so he was just so not worried about that dude. Like Rolly has the power, but he hasn't had the technique behind it. So that's where there's a guy who has the power with the technique behind it. It's a lot more dangerous, you know. But Isaac Cruz, I don't think he's a huge puncher like that. I think his power is comparable to a Stanionis at 147. Yeah,
Right.
he can buzz you, but he's not really like if he can buzz you or drop you if you're not really paying attention. But if you really are aware or whatever, like and just really have your wits about you, I don't really think he's hitting like that. You know what I'm saying? It's
Okay. I
that's
mean,
just me.
hopefully we'll see. Hopefully,
Right.
I mean, we literally got 3 or 4 or 5 fights just in those two divisions that would be amazing to watch.
Right. And I heard Tank is fighting Pitbull Cruz for a second time,
That's not necessary. I mean, yeah, that's when you could be fighting Shakur or Haney or all these other guys. Why, and I don't even want to get into this part because we'll be here all day, but the business of boxing and all that has taken such a shitty turn left over the past few years, and the end result is fans don't get the fights they want, the fighters don't get the legacy fights they want, or they get them later, too late.
Right.
And that's just what we're dealing with.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I'm just ready to mainly, and this is the last thing I want to say. I know you got to get out of here. With the heavyweight division, I just think what Tyson Fury is doing, like not wanting to fight Usyk, is I think we need like the guy in the heavyweight division. There's no dispute. That's just something that's been missing from boxing from a long time. There's always the debate, always Wilder the guy, AJ the guy, Tyson Fury the guy. Then when it got trickled down to Tyson Fury Usyk, and now Tyson Fury seems like he doesn't want to engage with that.
I mean, I actually really like Tyson Fury, and I didn't think he had it in him to not want to fight somebody. But did you watch that Netflix documentary?
Never. No, I didn't. I haven't watched.
Did you hear about it?
Oh, wait, he has one. Oh no, I haven't watched it.
It's a 9-episode. It's #1 on Netflix for the past like 10
Wow.
days. Number
yeah,
one on everything on Netflix. Yeah, watch it. It's called something Home with the Furies, and it happened right after he retired. It shot for probably 2 or 3 weeks right after he retired, the before he fought. So like whatever last year, but you should watch it. But at one point, it's when he starts negotiating with Fury. He starts negotiating with Usyk. Do you remember when Fury gave Anthony Joshua a deadline? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Right when that happened. So you see him recording the video that he ended up putting on social media, giving him the deadline. And it's crazy. You'll see he was going through a lot of shit because he just retired mentally. He was bugging out. But the point being, he straight up said, Fury did, in this documentary, he says, fighting Usyk is a big risk for me because he's a little guy. And if I lose to a little guy, you know, or if I don't look good, or if the judges rob me, or whatever, he's like, I'm gonna be a laughing stock. So he's like, so yeah, if I'm gonna fight him, I better be worth my time and my money. So that's why I want 75-25.
And
So
and
so
yeah,
in a way, he's saying, I don't believe any fighter's scared at that level. I hate when people say they're scared, but he's trying to make a business decision, and I don't really necessarily like that, because this is undisputed. This is history.
and that's crazy how he admitted that, and that's what people were saying. That's what
But
people were predicting,
I respect him for just being like, yeah,
right?
I'm not taking this
Because
risk.
that's what people were saying that it was, because this is a guy. This would be the most skilled guy Fury has ever fought. You know?
Arguably, but yeah.
Or you
No,
would you think is more
nobody.
skilled?
Yeah. When I said arguably, I was like, no, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. He like so I would get like Wilder limited. You know what I'm saying? That's not the best win on his resume. I would
Most
say
dangerous.
I would say Vladimir Klitschko was,
But not at that point. He was 40.
yeah, not at that point. Yeah, he was older, but
Yeah, but I
in terms
respect
of name,
Fury for saying that. He was like, yeah, I'm not going to fight him unless I get paid. Fuck that. He's like, I'm not going to take. And but then there's another part of me that's like, he's assumingly a multi millionaire. Like, I don't think money. You know what I mean? At this point, it's for
right?
legacy.
And he was talking about being compensated $500 million for that fight. That's duck talk to me. I'm sorry, bro. Like I get you would make a huge lump sum of money, probably in the 60 millions, 70 millions going over there in Saudi Arabia, but half $1 billion, that's way out of the realm of
I
possibility.
agree. I agree, man. If I was him, I would look at that fight differently. I would look at it like, oh, like this is going to be way easier, because some people think that Usyk, because Tyson is one of the most skilled fighters in history of being able to use his weight to his advantage, leaning
Right.
on people, draining their legs.
Very talented, man. You can't take that away from him.
So Usyk's faster and smaller than Deontay, so it'll be a little harder to catch him.
Yeah.
But when he does catch him, the weight's going to do a lot more because he's bigger. You know what I mean? It's going to take more out of him than it took out of Wilder.
And that's why I have Usyk number 3 pound for pound. Now people say, "Oh, he's a heavyweight." He's a heavyweight. He moved up to heavyweight. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Yeah, right. And he was undisputed at cruiserweight. Usyk's chances of getting knocked out in the heavyweight division is a lot more dire than in any other weight class. Why? It's the heavyweight division. He's significantly littler than those guys. Excuse me. And I would say almost 95% of the time he has to outbox these dudes, bro. He's not. I don't really see him knocking all of those dudes out.
He's not
So
knocking
for 12 rounds, this man has to avoid getting hit with a big shot. That's impressive, bro. Gotta put respect on that.
It is.
You know?
I agree, and I think Wilder's the worst fight from, because Wilder, every fighter lands one good shot in 12 rounds. It's going to happen, and Usyk being so much smaller, I don't see him not getting knocked out by Wilder unless he has this crazy chin that we've never really seen.
Right.
Because he's never really tested.
I did see him get buckled by AJ in the last fight.
Right.
Plus.
But that's a big fucking dude.
He is a big dude, yeah. So to your point, if he does get hit by Wilder, it could be, very sleep, sleep. You know what I'm saying? Right. But let me ask you this last thing. Did you check out my videos on my channel?
Check out a few of them, yeah.
About because a lot of people have been talking about the little I've been putting together this whole series of people making excuses about Errol Spence or whatever. You may enjoy it,
I think is that the one where you have the numbers counting down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that one,
yeah.
It's really crazy, but
I mean, here's what I think about that. I think that two things can be true, and I think a lot of fight fans connect themselves to a fighter, and now it's not about being a fight fan watching. They're connecting themselves to the fighter, so when the fighter loses, it's almost like they're taking their own shit out in their own life onto a fighter, and it's like, nah, just step back, watch the fighter. You have your life, the fighter has their life. So two things can be true. Errol Spence could have maybe had some things that made him not perform as well, but Bud still could be a better fighter and still would have beat him almost just as easily if those things weren't going on. Like, it could, just because you bring up something that might have made a fighter not perform as well, doesn't mean it's a total excuse and it totally discredits the other fighter. You know what I mean?
Hey, for me, the way those guys are doing it, it's an excuse because the way they were talking prior, and that's why I put those guys. I'm not putting guys who say, "Oh, he didn't." I put in guys.
The guys. Oh, you took specific people, right?
I put specific people who was talking a lot of shit. Oh, Errol looks good in the weigh-in. Errol looks way bigger than him. Errol looks in the best shape of his life. Errol looks great. They both guys look great. I'm putting those guys and putting the after of them saying, "Oh, Errol Spence was weight drained and all this."
Right. I mean, the balanced response. You're right. That is not accepting. You know, somebody balanced would say, "Oh, yeah, Errol might have been weight trained, and that might have affected him a little bit, but Bud was still just way better." That's something you would say, right? Not, "Oh, the only reason is because it's not the only reason."
That's ludicrous. You know?
Yeah. No, it was. You know, anybody who doesn't give Crawford full credit for that victory, you know, like I said, I don't care if there was a little couple things. It doesn't matter. Like that, he was so dominant, and it would have made any difference.
Then there's people who were just talking complete trash about this man. He's gonna get dominated, this and this and that. Then they turn around and say, "Oh, he's with Snack, Victor Conte." You didn't say that before the fight. It's a lot of fighters with Snack that's not doing what Terrence Crawford's doing. Devin Haney ain't doing that. He's one of them. Mario Barrios ain't doing that, bro.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, I think it's important, like especially doing what we do, you and me do here, being like we're technically media, I guess. Being unbiased is important. Like, you know, there's certain fighters I like watching, but if I'm gonna cover it, I'm gonna try and be as unbiased as I can because that's what it's about. You know, I respect any fighter who gets in the ring. I respect. That's why you never hear me call anybody a bum or none of that, because nobody's a bum who gets in the ring.
Right, and that's coming from a perspective of you being a fighter, and that's why I say I try my best, and I do slip up sometimes. I'm not perfect. I try my best not to call fighters bums, bro, because like I be hearing these guys on the internet calling these dudes bums, bro. You not getting in there, bro. You don't understand the pain of what that man going through. You don't, you know what I'm saying?
All it takes to just get
right, and you know there are guys who are not that good, but these are people they talking about that are really that not quite that good, but they're decent. And they're calling them bums, bro. Like I just don't. The guys that Crawford fought was really taking the blunt of those. Those is bums that Crawford was fighting. Like it's just disrespect, bro.
Right.
Disrespect.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. You know, but look, man, it was good talking to you. Let's. By the way, what gym do you fight out of?
Gleason's gym.
Oh, yeah. So I'll probably see. I go to Church Street.
Church Street. Oh yeah, I definitely know Church Street. Yeah, definitely.
That's been my gym.
That's the gym, okay.
For like 20 years, but I hit up Gleason's too. So
yeah, definitely. I'll be there Monday.
All right, yeah, maybe I'll see you. All right, cool. Let's talk again.
All right, man.
All right, peace.